Breeze Nation, what is good? The news today is crazy as the Milwaukee Bucks make a really solid pickup and going and getting Miles Turner. I think it's going to be very beneficial to their team. But, I mean, listen, it is official. We can finally say it, and I've been saying this for a while now. The Damian Lillard trade is one of the worst in NBA history. It's your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave the 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate every one of you guys who rocks with us here. Listen, the Damian Lillard trade was one that in a 3-team trade was incredibly interesting because what you were trading away was Jrue Holiday, who seemed like he was the piece that you wanted to hold on to the most if you're the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, he did have a tough playoff series. Remember playing against the Miami Heat? Jimmy Butler gave him the business there, and he had a tough playoff series. And that kind of seemed to be the end of the Milwaukee Bucks wanting to have a relationship with Jrue Holiday, and they wanted to go after the bigger fish. They wanted to go after the baddest girl on the block. And at that time, in their minds, the baddest girl on the block was Damian Lillard. What they didn't pay attention to was how much work this young lady had done and why she was still on the block. That's the whole point. I think that when you talk about the Damian Lillard thing here, when you look at this trade, the Blazers, just to review the trade, the Blazers sent Damian Lillard from the Bucks, or to the Bucks. The Trailblazers received DeAndre Ayton from the Suns, Toumani Camara from the Suns, a 2029 first-round pick from the Bucks, Jrue Holiday from the Bucks, 2 first-round pick swaps from the Bucks in 2028 and 2030. They also sent out Grayson Allen to the Suns. The Suns also received Keon Johnson, Nasir Little, and Yusuf Nurkic from the Blazers. But here's the thing. You knew going into this, you were trading for a guy who had already had multiple abdominal injuries, hamstring injuries, calf injuries, wrist injuries, Achilles injuries, where we're at right now, groin injuries. I mean, the litany of injuries that he had, foot injury, go on and on and on and on and on. And listen, I understand you want to go for the big name. You want to go for the big fish. You want to go for the big score. You wanted to add offense to this team. But what you gave up was nowhere near worth it. And I'm going to be honest with you. The first round picks are one conversation, but we see how first round picks are getting thrown around the NBA right now. Maybe that's not even a big deal with where the league is at right now, right? We see how first round picks are getting tossed around the NBA. When you talk about a player in Jrue Holiday, when you talk about somebody like Jrue Holiday, who went to the Boston Celtics, immediately helped them get back to an ECF, who went to the Boston Celtics, was pivotal in them winning in the NBA Finals, brought a different level of competitor to that building. You let that walk out the door when you saw him do that for you. That's what's crazy about all this. It's not like the Bucks didn't know what Jrue Holiday could be. You saw him do that for you. You won an NBA championship off of that young man. You won an NBA championship off of the defense that he was able to go out there and play. And you let that go because the hot girl on the block winked at you. You had a good one at the crib and you went out in these streets and you thought you was going to get freaky yet again and you was going to be the man on the block. And guess what? Now you're sitting here without first-round picks in the bag, coming off a Dame Lillard injury with a wave and stretch that is now the biggest in NBA history. Now, again, I do think, and I want to say this, I think I said this at the beginning, I may not have. I do think this is a good move as far as getting Miles Turner in here. I think Miles Turner and Giannis could be a tandem, especially in the Eastern Conference. That can help you win an NBA championship. You're going to have to figure the money out, right? The second apron is out here kicking people's butts left and right. But I think that this is a time where you can get some of the young pieces moving in the right direction. You can add some young point guards and things like that to this team to try and make your team a little bit better, circumvent some of the things you're going through. Again, Giannis is going to carry you a long way. If you're adding Miles Turner to that, I think that is a good pickup, even with what we saw in the NBA Finals, right? But to go out And literally, I mean, the conversation we may honestly be having here is, are the Bucks going back out to get Jrue Holiday from the Blazers? Are you going to try and get Jrue Holiday back in the building where you just wasted 2 years here with Dame Lillard, knowing the injury history, knowing he was going to miss time, knowing he was going to miss games? You can't say that Dame's time in Milwaukee was successful. Yes, there were some wins that were there. I'm not sitting here telling you that Milwaukee was one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. But as far as the playoffs go, he wasn't a part of any of that. As far as the playoffs go, he didn't help you get any big wins. He didn't help you win any big series. You didn't do anything. In that same time frame, you watched Jrue Holiday go out there and compete for NBA championships. And the part that kills me is it's very similar. I'm a Bulls fan, so we had Lonzo Ball. I feel it's very similar to that. Different players. I'm not saying Dame and Lonzo are the same. But when you see the injury history that is that long, you know what kind of player he is. You know what Dame is when healthy. Dame is an absolute monster when healthy. He's a dog on the court. He's one of the best point guards in the NBA. He's probably one of the best point guards in NBA history, or shooting guards, depending on how you feel about that, when you talk about him being healthy. But the best ability will always be availability, and that's the one ability that Damian Lillard has never had throughout his NBA career. It sucks. There's a bunch of greats that we're going to talk about like that. We talk about Brandon Roy like that. Y'all remember how much of a dog Brandon Roy was? He couldn't stay on the court. I talk about Derrick Rose like that. Derrick Rose was murdering people. Everybody was on his hit list. He couldn't stay on the court. You have to take that into account when you're talking about deals like this. And now this is going to be a deal that's going to hang over your head for the next few years, because you've had to now create the biggest wave and stretch in NBA history, which was previously held by, I believe, Nicholas Batum, and you just tripled it. This is one of those situations. This is one of those moves that is stunning to me today. Again, I do think the Milwaukee Bucks got better. I'm not saying that today is the wrong move. What I'm saying is the last 2 years, if you look at it in totality of what your expectations were and what actually happened, have been an absolute disaster if you are the Milwaukee Bucks. Meanwhile, the pieces that you gave away have done I mean, all of them have done far better than you. I believe Grayson Allen, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Grayson Allen go to the finals that year? I may be tripping on that. But like, these are moves that you gotta nail. If you're going to make a move this big, you can't look back on it and have question marks about it. And I mean, there's nothing but question marks about the Damian Lillard era here in Milwaukee. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, man. This is a interesting day for the Milwaukee Bucks. NBA free agency has been interesting. We're going to make a video on the 2nd apron, because the 2nd apron been just taking people out, man. Peace.